This is an event you won't want to miss.
I think the number one thing that I take away from this is the challenge. You're always challenged on multiple levels, mentally, physically, spiritually. We've been challenged every day since we've been here. You gotta come here, take some time out, do it. It's a great experience. You'll never forget it.
Hey everybody, we're gonna take a quick little break here. I want to stop and thank our new sponsor. If you're serious about getting your time back and scaling your business, then SMA Support Services is your secret weapon. I use SMA for all of our support and admin tasks. Everything from back office management, day-to-day admin, even a call center. Their team frees up my staff to stay focused on high-level, revenue-generating activities. And that, let me tell you, is a fucking game changer. SMA isn't just support. They're a partner that keeps our operations running smooth and efficiently. So if you want to focus on growing your business and leave the support work to the pros, hit up SMA Support Services.
Hey everybody, what's up? We're back with another episode of We Don't Know What the Fuck We Call This. So I am going to go ahead and introduce our guest today, Adam. As always, Adam motherfucking Patterson. Adam, good to have you here today. I'm sorry that we missed last week since we were in the storm.
Yes, and I've got an issue, and we'll revisit this issue in a moment, but there's a much more important guest here than myself.
Well, right. What's your issue, though?
Our new sponsor, SMA. Eric,
I know, dude, I haven't been able to fucking change it. God damn it. I need to get Lexi to fucking change it.
All right, that's it. That's my issue.
Okay, I agree with that being an issue. That's, yeah. Every time I hear it, too, I feel like an asshole. Okay, so today's exciting. We have a special guest on today. This is going to be a fun conversation, and we are going to introduce the infamous, is it infamous? Is that the way you say it? Infamous?
Yeah, I think
infamous Becca Switzer. There's Becca. Hi, Becca.
Hi, guys. How are we doing?
I'm great. I mean, I'm ready to go play golf. So
sounds very boring and hot. Different strokes for different folks.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Doing well. This is gonna be fun. Adam, do you want to start with a question for Becca, or do you want me to?
You can start, Eric. I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
The heat is on.
Yes. So for everybody tuning in right now, we like to use these, and Becca, you haven't been part of one of these, and God knows you probably have never watched one of them. But what we generally do on these webinars is we want to give some type of an education to the people watching, to give them ideas of how to use VAs. If they've never used VAs inside of their company, like what are the steps that you would do, right? Are you using them to rehash? Are you using them to do accounting stuff? Or using them to do estimates? And what we thought an interesting conversation with you would be is, like, obviously you do a lot of sales training and working with, different, whether it's sales guys, clients, owners, whatever it is, how having VAs in your company could help that sales team. Now, I have the ways that I do it. I'm curious about the ways that you would do it if you had your own company and you were implementing them.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything that is not directly revenue generating activity, you'd want to be able to delegate to somebody else. So whether that's like, your guys are not generating leads if they're sitting behind the computer because they have to do estimates or they have to, order at EagleView or whatever. So anything that's like job supporting, sales supporting, that is not directly related to them generating leads and closing deals and actually performing inspections, I think any of that stuff could really be utilized by using a VA.
So let's go specific.
Yeah. Estimating for sure.
Yep.
Follow up. If you don't have some sort of an automated process for following up on your open job files, scheduling updates, answering emails, answering phones, sending out text messages, all the little busy stuff that keeps us bogged down. Anything like that would be supportive to a salesperson. And that just frees them up to be able to be generating leads, closing contracts. So those are kind of the main ones. But what comes to mind, not even just salespeople, one of the biggest things that I think that's become a need of business owners that are running my program is just the brunt of the work for calling on applicants, going through applications for hiring sales reps and making those phone calls to set up interviews and doing pre-screens and sending out emails and doing all that type of stuff. Like, it's funny. I have people that join my program and they're like, is one person doing all of this? And I'm like, well, hopefully not. But if you need somebody to, because we'll get people run my ad and they'll get 300 applicants this month. And that's really daunting to go through. And if you're going to do like a high scale, high volume recruiting process, like what I teach, you're not just cherry picking 8 or 10 candidates and then making a couple phone calls. Like, you're literally trying to schedule hundreds of people, which means hundreds of phone calls, hundreds of voicemails, hundreds of text messages, hundreds of emails and confirmation, stuff like that. And so having a VA that can do that that just removes that entire part and weight off of their plate.
Yeah. And what's cool is that every single thing that you just said is what we do with our team, right? Yeah. It took us a while to kind of figure out all of those things that they could do. And that's why I like doing these webinars and these episodes, is because like it took us a while to figure out like, oh, what is the capability of that? What does that take off of the plate of the other person? And I think that for owners that are watching and sales reps, but like as an owner, when you're recruiting, and if you can tell a potential recruit, we have this, and this, you don't have to do any of these fucking things. You just sell, you generate leads and you sell, and we take care of all of this shit with our back end team.
Yeah.
You go to a house and what do you hate doing? You hate updating the CRM, pussy, because you fucking don't like going in and fucking typing? Like, okay, cool.
Typing is hard.
We'll send a voice note on the fucking job site to say, I was at Mrs. Smith's house. This happened. The dog bit me in the fucking ass. Make sure the CRM says, don't open the fucking back gate. Right. And it goes to the VA that they're assigned to. They update the CRM, tag production, tag the right people so that they don't have to do it. And then because every fucking meeting that we have is update the goddamn CRM. And all we do is get pissed off.
What happened next? What has to happen next? Who hasn't been called back? What job hasn't
infuriating.
been touched? Yeah, there's so
instead of trying to, sorry, Adam, I just keep fucking blabbering, but like instead of trying to fucking change the rep who is already hardwired to fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how to get that shit done so that they can do what they're actually good at hardwired to do. Right. Because I fought for years. I'm like, dude, it's just part of your job. Just fucking update the CRM because you're driving everybody fucking crazy because accounting doesn't have what they need and production doesn't have what they need and these guys don't have what they need. Like, you're making everybody's fucking job harder, right? And then I'd get pissed off. And then finally I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just have somebody else fucking do it. And then I can stop fucking yelling at them.
Yeah. Well, it would be like saying, if you compare your roofing company and team to a restaurant instead, that would be like saying, chef, you need to go balance the books. You need to bust the tables. And they're like, I am here to cook. Like,
right.
Do they bust tables? Sure. Is the best food going to come out of the kitchen? And are they going to enjoy their job back there? Probably not. You're probably going to have higher turnover. So how can
That's a good analogy. Did you just come up with that or have you used that before?
I've used something similar. Sometimes I talk about football too.
I just like to know when people fucking bring good shit off the cuff and when they've just rehashed it. And so like, cause that was a really good one. So I just like to know if that's rehashed or if you like fucking, cause if that was an off the cuff one, like big props.
Well, it was off the cuff the first time that I used it, but now it's an easy.
Yeah, okay.
You can
All
think
right.
about like a sports team would be the same thing, right? Like, are we also trying to make our star quarterback the best linebacker on the team? Is he also supposed to be blocking? Like, it doesn't make. I don't know anything about football, but it just
we couldn't tell at all. Like that analogy fucking landed. Like
Did it?
that was no, not even fucking kind of. But
how was it
but
that?
kind of. But it was fun to watch you try.
I tried really hard. Yeah, I don't do sports ball. Is it balls?
No.
Is that how you say it?
There's balls. Yeah.
Do you guys want to play pickleball?
I have played pickleball.
I would like to get better at it. We'll talk about it after.
Okay, yeah. We did. We played down in Cayman and like actually had a really good time. I got a little too fucking aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And started like fucking hitting the ball really hard at people. And yeah, like I was, yeah, but it's fun. Yeah. I like anything I can be competitive at. Adam, why don't you say something?
Sure. I know words. I'm somewhat tangentially familiar with the English language. Becca, curiosity I have, right? And that you've got this awesome fucking program that helps businesses to recruit, right? And to source and to get high volume candidates and to get the right people in and to, build a healthy, sustainable recruiting funnel, right? And oftentimes one of the things that I notice is owners, we look at recruiting to close the retention gap, right? Like I'm not retaining and developing these people, so I'm just going to bring in a whole bunch more of them, throw shit at the wall and see what I hope sticks. I'm curious from your perspectives, you've worked with a lot of leaders in this industry and a lot of owners in this industry. What is the craziest thing that you've seen in terms of an expectation of a sales rep or a salesperson in any of the businesses that you've worked with that you've thought, why are you making these folks do that?
Well, I don't know necessarily that I would have. Of course, you have like the cradle to grave people, right? That's not as common anymore, where you're like literally asking your sales reps to do everything from, they're generating leads, they're doing the inspection, they're meeting the adjuster, they're chasing checks. They're also doing estimates, ordering materials, estimating their own jobs. Like I had to do that stuff back in the day. That was in like the 1900s of roofing, like before we had better structure and setup and things like that. I think it's really more about expectation. Like, I think that a lot of roofing company owners, when it comes to recruiting, the craziest expectation that I see is that they think they're going to like cherry pick these all-star players. And then they just have to cherry pick like the right people and then they're done. Like having NBA tryouts and then being like, this is our team for the rest of our lives. And we're just going to win championships forever because we found the perfect people. That's really like the craziest. It's like a mental illness in this business where they think you can just like, there must be a secret. It's like finding the best people. And then after you do that, you're done. And I spend a lot of time having to coach people through like the mindset and the approach and what the reality of the situation is.
Yeah, you can't just hire one person and solve all your problems. That's crazy talk, Becca. Come on now.
What?
And it doesn't ever end. Yeah, I quit.
What? I mean, you can. I mean, obviously, you can make key hires, right? Like you can obviously make key hires that do fill in gaps and fill in holes, and like can put you on the trajectory that you want. But like if you're not nurturing that, thing and continuously doing something to up level them and giving them continuous training and giving them continuous resources and things that they need to be able to succeed, you're going to lose them. Right. And I think that, again, I know I mentioned this earlier, but like for people watching that are business owners as well, like the real, to me, I use our SMA team as a selling point every time we recruit, right? Like my sales managers are instructed when they're interviewing somebody that they really want and really like is to really highlight all of the back end staff that you have that is going to make their job easier, where most of these guys, to your point, and I think there's still a lot of companies out there that are doing that model from the 1900s. Like I think there's more than what we think, right? And especially newer companies that are getting started, guys that are, the sales guys that are like, fuck you, 1050, like I'm going to go do my own thing because I know how to run production and run QuickBooks and blah, blah, blah. They always, because they don't have any money. So it's like, no, you're doing everything, right? You're doing everything. So if you're a sales guy looking for a team to land on, what team do you want to land on? The one that truly has the back end support for you? right? Already built out, or the one that it's like, no, you're basically running your own fucking company inside of mine.
Yeah. Because like the ideal scenario for a sales rep is I generate leads, I perform inspections, I sign contracts, and then I do it over and over and over again. And then I pass all my business, and maybe they meet the adjuster, right? But then they pass all that to the back office, and somebody else, whether it's a VA or somebody on staff or whatever, is dealing with the estimating, the supplementing, the job costing, the back and forth, the follow-up with the adjuster, chasing mortgage checks, right? All of that stuff should be done by somebody else. Like, again, let the chef cook, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. The number of business owners that I talk to, especially folks in that like $1 to $5 million revenue range, that do the cradle to grave sales model and are frustrated and like, why are my guys not closing more? I need better reps. Or like, and they blame it on talent, and they completely,
or they're lazy.
Right. Yeah. And this is why I'm giving you 10% of the job. What would they do if I wasn't having them do all this stuff?
Right.
Getting more fucking business. Isn't that the whole goal here?
Because even if you say, I'm going to pay them the top of the commission model, we're going to do 10, 50, 50, but they have to run it cradle to grave. If I have to go and do all of the $15 an hour bullshit that's keeping me from selling, I'm not going to sell as much, and I'm going to get burnt out.
Yeah.
So it's more attractive to somebody to take a pay cut to just be able to stack deals. Cause then you're like, that's all I have to do. I'm just turning in business. Like, it's the stuff that like, if I have to sit and do paperwork all the time, I'm going to just take a depression nap for the rest of the month.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
The flip side of that is making sure though, that you do have the leadership in place so that they're not taking that time
to do nothing.
That they're getting back to fucking do nothing, because that's going to be their instant thought is like, oh, now I can sit back.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, no. If I can go out and use the time properly. Right. Like,
well, yeah. And absolutely, Eric, like setting that expectation, right? Like, hey, because you don't have to do these things, the average rep should be doing this between this and this. If you're doing below that, we have a problem.
Your expectations and your KPIs have to change too, though. And not have, like, they get to change. Right? As an owner, like, you get to change them now, and you can justify them, because we all want to sit down as owners and be like, well, fuck, I want my KPIs to be this, but like, they don't have the time to do that. Right? Like there's just not enough time in a day to be able to give them this loftier KPI. But if you build this back end out like that, you can build loftier KPIs, because there's no excuse now of why we can't hit them.
Yeah. And you know what? I think something to address too, just because we're talking about like VAs and whatnot, because I recommend SMA to a lot of my folks. And I think we should address just some of the questions that come up. Like, for example, some of the hangups that people have if they've never used a VA, or they have an idea of what a VA is like. They're like, well, but like, how are they answering phones? Like, do they speak English? Like, do they sound like they were, like, are they going to be able to represent my company? They also worry about, like, you know, morally, like, are these people getting paid enough? And obviously SMA, I know they hire like the best of the best. They pay like twice as much as basically everyone else, and they're trained really, really well. But I think it'd be good to just talk about that, since that's kind of the center focus of today's chit chat. I think that would help a lot of business owners come over to the dark side and try out some VA action.
Yeah, 100%. Adam, you want to take that?
Yeah, it's a good point, and it's a good call. And you know, what I tend to say is, folks ask me, like, what do they sound like on the phone? Can you hear that they have an accent? Absolutely, right? 100%. What do they sound like they're in the hills of Islamabad? No, not at all. Their English tends to sound like they're either a first-generation American who grew up in a home where their parents maybe spoke another language in the house, but they've been speaking English their whole lives, or immigrated to the country 10 to 20 years ago and have been speaking English fluently full-time. Right. So, and I will tell you this, there's also market variability to that, right? So like how a homeowner in Bowling Green, Kentucky might respond to that voice, because, you know, not only that it doesn't sound like it's from the United States, but it doesn't sound like it's from Bowling Green, Kentucky, might be a little bit different than how a homeowner in a major metropolitan area might respond, who's going to, you know, predominantly emphasize efficiency, right? So, yeah. One of the things I tell folks to do all the time, right, is to look at and think of, I think there's this oversimplification on what VAs are. oftentimes. And there's this oversimplification that's like, oh, it's someone to answer the call because my phone rings all day, and to make outbound calls to book leads for me. And like, yeah, it can be an important aspect when run well of some of the work that we do. But I would back up a minute, right? And say that like the most important thing you can do, and Eric, I don't know how long it took you to realize this as a business owner, the folks that I talk to that say like, I know I'm not hitting enough sales and it's because my leads are bad. And my lead providers are shit, or my talent is shit, or my team doesn't care enough. But like, don't take the 5 minutes to evaluate their process and figure out where there are hangups that are delaying, their reps, again, from spending 80 to 90% of their time in direct revenue generating activities. Usually as a leverage point, that's the most important place to start, right? And so I tell folks like, focus internally. If you're using a virtual assistant service, again, whether or not it's us or another provider, ensure that they're a registered entity in the country, and ensure that those folks are employees. And so part of the reason, is an example in the Philippines, that's important. First and foremost, it protects your intellectual property, right? So your IP stays your IP. They govern your IP to ensure that it can't be taken away or stolen. The team is monitored very heavily to ensure that your data is super well protected. The other more important part is an example in the Philippines, it's illegal to moonlight. So if you're a regularized employee with a full-time job, you can't work another full-time job. You can only work that one job, right? And so folks that aren't registered entities and registered employers, they will have folks on contractor basis. On that contractor basis, they will typically float between multiple companies at one time and kind of go where the noise is. And that creates operational risk, right? It creates homeowner experience risk, but it isn't really building a dedicated efficiency in your back in your process. And Eric has actually had experience with this. Oftentimes these independent contractors will steal time. They will have major life events and that ask you to wire them money. It's so.
Yep. I had all of those things happen to me. Like I've done everything wrong. And I think to both of your points, one of the things that's given us the best payoff is we have consistent coaching. So like we are constantly pivoting. I had a call this morning at 10 a.m. with part of my team who does outbound stuff. And we have really good luck, after a storm environment where we'll pull data lists and we'll start dialing residential leads and things like that. What I found out that we did is that we spent too long focusing on that post-storm. And so then the work that they were doing wasn't yielding the results that we were hoping for, right? And so then at the end of the day, I'm getting my end of day reports and I'm like, why the fuck is it 0, 1, 2, 1, fuck. And so we pivot every week of like, okay, what's working, what's not? Should we go B2B this week? Should we start calling insurance agents? Should we start calling property management companies? Should we start calling commercial buildings asking about leaks? Should we do a rehash this week? Should we, like, whatever it is, so that I don't just not talk to them and touch for a month and then go, what the fuck's your problem? Why didn't you figure it out? Right? So like we're very much like engaged all the time of like what's working, what's not. Let's change our script. Let's change what we're saying. What's working, what's not working. What objections are you getting? So like we're coaching them just like we would a sales team, right? Where they're not trying to sell a job, but they, if you have people doing outbound calls, like they are trying to sell an inspection. Sometimes they're trying to, sell a comeback, a rehash, to be like, hey, can we follow up and have a meeting, blah, blah, blah. Like they're doing some of those things if that's part of the team that you have in place. But if you expect everybody to just figure that out on your own because you hired a VA and you're not taking the time to invest into them to coach them and make them better and give them the feedback and the resources that they need as well, then you just might as well not fucking do it.
Yeah. That's a big thing, right? There's no silver bullet anywhere in business. And if there were like anything that you could just drop in and no matter what, it would be successful, like fucking everyone in the world would be doing it, right? Like right. Much like anything you get out of this, what you put into it. And there comes with that, investment in, coaching and giving constructive feedback and kind of helping point the team towards success. I think, going back to your original question, Becca, I think one of the things you're thinking about is like, how do someone who might be hesitant to have a foreign national on the phone start? And I always tell them, you can 1,000% find 40 hours of work every week that's $15 to $20 an hour work that's internal facing. Yeah. And start there, right? and see what the experience is like and see how it feels and see how it integrates within your organization. And then, you begin to crawl, walk, run.
Yeah.
Right? There's no, my most successful clients take that exact approach. They don't say like, I'm going to drop in 12 VAs tomorrow doing all kinds of different things. Right. We go really incrementally, really steady. So,
especially for the people who are control freaks. I mean, like I was the same way with my assistant, and it was like, so I would just give him like the littlest things at first. And then I was like, oh, he does those and he's doing them right. And he's doing them well. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, give me more. And I'm like, okay. And then, you give him more. And then all of a sudden you realize like, I can let go of this stupid wheel that I'm driving because I have other shit that I need to do. And like, this feels really good. I think you have to have a little gateway drug into delegation. And then you do that and you're like, this feels good.
Yeah. It's, you got to get used to it. Right? Delegation isn't hard. So,
because it takes you a second, whether it's an internal staff or, or an external staff, like it takes time to trust them too. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you proved yourself, and the nice thing is the reason that I've enjoyed working with SMA for as long as we have now is that I now have the trust, not only in our people, but I have the trust in all of the back end management that is hiring and training them before they even get in front of me. Right. Yeah. So like, I know if I say, I need this person, I need whatever, I know that like they're going to find the right person to fill that need and that I don't have to do all the digging because, one of the mistakes that we were talking about that I'd made before was before I knew of, agencies and SMA and whatever, I would go on Upwork and hire my own VAs, right? So like I hired VAs on Upwork to fucking do social media content, to do graphic design, to do, whatever. And there's a time and a place for that if you just have a, like a one project that needs to be done, right? And it's like, that's all it is. And that's in their genius and it's a web designer or whatever, right? Like that's fine. But for somebody that's going to be with you all the time, like you need to be able to trust that like, I can make a phone call. I can call Mary and be like, man, I need somebody that fills this role. And she'll be like, I'll have it for you in 2 weeks. Right. Like every time, and like hasn't disappointed once. And the other flip side of that is if somebody isn't doing what they said that they could do, it's such a much easier call to go, hey, boss, this isn't working out. Like, I've tried to coach, it's not working. Can you find somebody to replace this? And all of a sudden, I don't have to take that ownership anymore. Fucking love that, right? Like, I mean, I know that sounds like really chicken shit and whatever, but like, I hate firing people. Like, I hate fucking doing it. But like, when you have this relationship, because like, this is a business relationship as well. It's like, this isn't working. Can you help me figure out how we bridge that gap? It makes it so much easier as an owner.
Yeah.
Eric, I have to be a party pooper and run to a scheduled call. But
do you? That's okay. I mean, we're
much better hands. The dumbest and
that's
ugly.
Fine. We're coming up on 30 minutes. We always try to keep these right at 30 minutes. So if you need to jump, you jump. Becca and I will stay here for a minute because I want to give Becca an opportunity to pimp whatever the fuck she wants to.
Becca, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry for this shit show, Eric.
Absolutely, it was great. Lovely to see you. You look, Adam. You look great, by the way.
I appreciate that, Becca. Thank you.
Your hair's looking amazing today.
Your hair looks good.
Isn't it?
You've got like delts going on, I've noticed.
Quick story on my hair. Someone was fucking with me and told me that I was having a bald spot, and my number one fear in my fucking life, is losing my hair. And I did not know that they were fucking with me. And so I then went and bought Nutrafol and like $400 of hair growth supplements. And it's never looked better.
Yes.
Do I know who fucked with you?
You do not. No.
Ah, damn it.
Is Nutrafol real? Does it work?
Yeah, it does. So my hair is substantially thicker. And the other ad I'll give you this. All of my hair got substantially thicker. Wow. So like my chest hair is like filling in and shit. It's I
don't know how hairy your chest is for the starting point, so I can't comment.
Pretty hairy. So yeah.
And now extra,
right? Thicker.
That's not how I like to describe. Yeah.
No, that's gross. Okay.
So anyway, I'll leave you on that one.
Hairs never look better. Great. Okay.
Thanks, Adam. See you, buddy.
Bye now.
All right. Well, Becca, thank you for being here. Take a minute and let everybody know like what you do and how you help people as well.
Yeah. Well, my business is Roof Sales Mastery. And essentially what I've done is I have created a completely turnkey, repeatable process for hiring, training sales reps, and then supplement and Xactimate training. So roofers come to me when they're trying to scale their businesses and they want to get their sales information out of their head and onto paper to be able to have a repeatable, systematic formula to teach sales reps instead of doing the whole ride along, like buckle up, partner, ride shotgun with me for a couple of weeks. And then if you survive, then you know, we'll teach you how to do the rest of the job. So I teach people how to hire, train, and launch like 3 to 5 sales reps every 30 to 60 days. And it's right there. You just follow it like a recipe. So I help roofers scale their businesses without running by the seat of their pants is essentially what I do.
What's your favorite thing to coach?
My favorite thing to coach, probably mindset, honestly. Like, we're all dealing with the same elements and challenges, generally speaking. And it's mostly about how you can change how you're thinking about it. Like reframing the situations and challenges that you're facing is actually the most powerful thing that you can do. So I like to play devil's advocate, get into people's minds. And it's like, what is the thing that you're like, for example, you know, if a female comes to me and they're like, their belief, their perception is that they're not doing as well as they think they should be because they're in a male dominated industry and people aren't taking them as seriously as a man. And I'm like, okay, let's challenge that belief, you know? So that's probably my favorite thing to do is just rewire people's brains.
And the hard part is that I agree. That's the thing that I love coaching the most too. Like if I have one-on-one clients or inside a culture movement or whatever, like I love having those conversations. What I've learned though, is that you can, but it is significantly harder to sell that on the front end because that's getting them to assume that they think of things wrong. So it's like you have to bring them in with something else, right? Whether it's sales training or it's fucking Xactimate training, whatever it is, so that you can get them in front of you, and then they leave with, "Wow, they completely changed my mindset." But if you would have said, "I want to fucking teach you about changing your mindset," be like, "Fuck you, I'm not paying you for that." Nobody.
Yeah, no, that's exactly true. Like that's not the sexy thing. I find that people are more, they're more attracted to what appears to be like secret sauces or tactical solutions, which makes sense. Like give me something in black and white that I can do. Like step 1, step 2, step 3. Changing your mind is not usually at the top of the list for those people. It's not like a shiny, sexy thing, but it's like, hey, here's the thing that we're going to do differently. And here's how to think about it. And then it's like giving those like clicks where people go, huh, you know, like for example, I hired a business coach several months back. And I had never in 11 years of my business hired a salesperson. I had done literally everything by myself, except for having some assistant on the side to like handle my inbox, you know, really, really minuscule things. And he was like, "Becca, what are you doing? Like you need a salesperson." And I was like, I just don't think, here's how like just full of myself, I guess I was like, I just don't think anybody could do it as well as me. Cause like I wrote the program.
Wow.
I've been
Could that
doing
be more stereotypical answer, right? Like
right. It's like, I don't think anybody could do what I do. Right. And I had all these excuses. Well, it's because I wrote the program. They're not going to understand the business. They're not going to blah, blah, blah. And finally he was just like, this is amateur hour, like for you to still be doing sales calls. And I was like, okay. And that's what I needed. I was like, tell me I'm being amateur. And I hired a salesperson. She's better than me. I think she's better than me now. She's been amazing. So, you know, it's just like helping people break the self-imposed chains that they put on themselves with their mental frameworks, I think is probably the most valuable thing.
Do you do private coaching as well, or just your packages?
When people reach out and ask for it, I do. Occasionally
I was
people
curious.
be like, Yep. Like if they want me to do like a team meeting or they just want some personal one-on-one coaching, either for themselves or for their sales manager or like a top salesperson or whatever, I do those. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here, before I forget, what's the website that they can go to check you out? I'll type it here in the comments.
Yep. roofsalesmastery.com.
Boom. Let's see if it worked.
I need everyone to know that I'm just barely surviving a very lethal dog fart gas leak right now. It's bad.
Wow.
It's just been like 2 minutes lingering in this gas. And if anybody wants to see the culprit, look at her. God.
Oh my God.
How cute
And
she is.
just I mean, yeah, but I can smell it now. Like
Auschwitz.
I know.
Yeah. God, like I need to scrape my tongue after this. It's like coating.
You can taste
God.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can taste it. Yeah,
It's bad.
we got one of those here too. That like the whole goddamn house will fucking smell. Yeah,
And it's
for
like heavy.
moments.
It's like a palpable
It's a
cloud.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's a cloud.
You're like,
Yep, it's a cloud.
yeah.
That's amazing. Becca, thank you for being here. Everybody check out Becca's stuff at roofsalesmastery.com as well. Thanks for telling everybody about how you would use, VAs inside of the company. Like I said, love SMA, love those guys. I get texts every day of people like, hey, I know that I don't know what you do, but do you know, and I know there's a couple other agencies out there that do something similar, but the reason that I bring people on here and we bring on staff members from SMA and some of these webinars that we do is like, I want people watching to like actually meet the people that care about the company that are like actually doing the work as well. Because like we work with people that we like, you know what I mean? Like we have to like the people, I think. Right. And just because it's a VA entity doesn't mean that you don't want to have that same relationship with them. Right. It doesn't need to be this weird, cold relationship. Like you want to have a relationship and like a real one, with a company. So that's why we like doing this. So hopefully you'll come back again soon. We do these every couple of weeks. So we'll have you dip in every once in a while if you got something cool that you want to share with everybody. Okay.
Would love that.
All right. Thank you, Becca. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And I'll play us out of here.
Cool. Sounds great.
All right.
This is an event you won't want to miss.
I think the number one thing that I take away from this is the challenge. You're always challenged on multiple levels, mentally, physically, spiritually. We've been challenged every day since we've been here. You gotta come here, take some time out, do it. It's a great experience. You'll never forget it.